Just a couple days ago, we talked about how the Tacoma is not selling well, and a large part of it is because of a crimped supply chain in Mexico. They can't get the workers like they're used to getting. Make sure to check out that video if you haven't seen it yet. So many of you are just so brutal in the comment section. I love it. I love getting in the mosh pit with you guys. And to be fair, I didn't address a lot of the things you guys were concerned about when you were sounding off in the comments about pricing, about turbo 4-cylinders, so many other things, but it really just boils down to pricing. Oh, and I didn't even mention interest rates, which is affecting all the cars right now. So I took a stroll to my Toyota dealership this morning. We're pulling into the Toyota dealer to see if there are any Tacomas sitting around on the lots. A lineup of old tacos sitting on the lots. Yeah, that Toyota dealership was a bust. I saw 2 new Tacomas there, and it was just a mess trying to drive around that parking lot. I didn't see any like nice lineup of new cars. I don't know if they just have no inventory right now, which is a possibility, but yeah, it just seemed very disorganized. So I couldn't wait to just leave the parking lot. The used lot was more organized than the new lot. So anyways, let's get to the computer to find out what's really going on behind the scenes with the new Tacoma. And man, was that a bust, but we need to talk about the big picture here. What is going on with the entire inventory for Tacomas? Now, I'll put this in the description for you guys because this spreadsheet here is pretty mind-blowing. I am not the creator of this spreadsheet, but it gives you access to see all the upcoming models, whether they're in allocation, freight, or on the ground, of all these models from Toyota, Lexus, and even Hyundai's on this spreadsheet as well. So I was able to dig into the Tacomas. There are about 30,000 currently in the inventory. That means we have VIN numbers for all the models, not only on the ground, but that are to be produced soon, as well as the VIN numbers of those vehicles in freight right now, more than likely on a rail system or on a semi. And so we have every single trim level currently available on the Tacoma here, every single model across the United States. So I made my own spreadsheet to make the most sense out of the Tacoma situation. What's alarming to me is the average MSRPs, and guys, the hybrids are not even out yet, which costs, trying to remember, is it $3,500 more than the base model? Remind me down below. I'm not going to look it up right now. And so $50,000 for the TRD off-road, $45,000-ish for the SR5, $49,000 for TRD Sport, $55,000 for the Limited, and $38,000 for the base pickup truck, the SR, which does not come in 4 doors or even having 4 seats. The pre-runner is pretty much unavailable. Toyota doesn't plan on building like any right now, seemingly. What's mind-blowing is that we're seeing big discounts already for the small percentage that are on the ground. The ground guys, they're only about 15% of the total Tacoma inventory is on the ground. 70% roughly is an allocation, meaning it's going to be built soon. It hasn't been built yet. And then the freight is on its way, right? It's on a train or on a semi truck. Such little inventory on the ground, 4,300. Most of that is not pre-sold or dealer held. Those are the ones that are in freight or allocation typically. But 4,300, that's not very much on the ground at this point. And look at the discounts we're seeing across the board. Why are we seeing discounts? Well, the Tacoma got a lot more expensive. You could say $5,000 more on average per trim level compared to the outgoing model with the V6. Now, you could also say, Kirk, we don't have the base powertrain anymore. Yes, that factors into it, but it is a lot more expensive per trim level than it used to be, and we haven't even got to the hybrids yet, right? So big discounts across the board, and it's gonna get worse. Or better, you could say for the customer, we get worse for the dealers. Well, you have 70% of the inventory allocated, so you have 20,000 units that are yet to hit the ground. Yes, some of them are claimed, right, with dealer hold and pre-sold, but that's 7,000 units. So that's about 18,000 units of Tacomas heading to lots that haven't been claimed yet, without a down payment, without it being pre-sold. And so these discounts, I can only see increasing in the near future. Now with the allocation, guys, this is pretty messy. So if I go back to the spreadsheet, here we go. Now this is where the allocation is crazy. Typically we have a good idea when a model will start production or go into production, at least in my experience when I was working for Lexus pre-COVID. Let's get into the allocation craziness. So there's a model here that was in several models. There's a plenty that was supposed to start in April. But if we look at this one right here, it's on dealer hold, which means the model's claimed at this point. But it's not on the ground. It's still allocated. It hasn't even been built yet and sent on freight. And it was supposed to arrive at the dealership in theory the 2nd of April. And now it's May 20th at this recording. So in some models, we're about a month and a half, maybe 2 months behind of schedule. So it's just a messy situation with the Tacoma from the supplier chain being super unreliable right now, to the high prices, to the high interest rates. And we're going to go back to the spreadsheet. This is a big tell that the market's slowing down. Things have got too expensive. People's budgets are more constrained than they've ever been before, at least in recent memory, maybe even in my own lifetime, not counting the financial crisis of 08 or whatever, 09. You also have to keep in mind, I mean, at the end of last year, student loans started back up. And the housing market, like everyone's rent is going up. I think that was one of the top comments on my video. Rent is too damn high, right? Rent keeps going up if you don't own your own house. And so people's affordability levels have gone down a lot. If we look at the RAV4 hybrid, which is a well-oiled machine in terms of production and supply chain, 45% is an allocation compared to the disrupted production situation of the Tacoma of nearly 70%. Nearly 25% are on a semi truck or a railway headed to the dealership compared to just 17% for the Tacoma. We have doubled the percentage of ground RAV4 hybrids compared to Tacomas right now. And interestingly, a really similar percentage when it comes to pre-sold, and as well as a similar percentage when it comes to dealer hold. So I did a quick look as well. We found some discounts on some of the RAV4 hybrids too. So we are seeing discounts on Toyota models. I think this is a sign of things really slowing down. It's not just the Tacoma that's receiving discounts, which is actually still surprising to me. Being a brand new Toyota, typically we do not see that on brand new cars, a brand new redesign. The RAV4 is supposed to get a redesign for the 2026 model year, and we're seeing discounts already pop up on these 2024 model year RAV4 hybrids, which is one of the fastest selling cars in America, and they're still getting discounted here. Just keep in mind, when we see these discounts, they are outliers. The vast majority of these models are probably around MSRP, but you're still going to have some dealer markups. I'm seeing a dealer markup as much as $5,000 on some of these RAV4s. So just keep that in mind, but most of them are at MSRP at this point in time, which means you could get yourself a nice discount. Just because it's not listed as a discount doesn't mean you can't negotiate your way down a little bit at this point in time if they're listing MSRP. But if you are not interested in the new Tacoma compared to the last gen, what are your options if you want a new pickup truck? Because the new Tacoma is objectively better. It's just also objectively more expensive, and the upgrades are not worth it for so many people to spend just that much more money on a mid-size pickup truck. Well, here's the answer. The answer is the Nissan Frontier. I haven't driven the new Ranger, so that is maybe a truck I might like better than the Frontier, but to be honest, I love the Frontier. It's heavy hydraulic steering. It's big, fat, silky smooth V6. It's super snappy 9-speed auto. I love this truck, and it feels well built in all the models that I've reviewed on the channel. And check this out. The best model on it, the Pro 4X, look at these discounts, $33,000. Guys, this model competes against the Tacoma TRD Off-Road, and you can get it for $33,000. If we go back to the average prices of a TRD Off-Road, it's $50,000 MSRP. And the discounts we're seeing on it are just not enough, not even close to what we're seeing with the discounts. And guys, this is just in my area. This is at the Nissan dealer in Fort Myers. It's like a less than an hour drive for me, and I can get a Pro 4X Frontier for $33K. And the TRD off-roads in my area, check this out. It's not just that spreadsheet that I pulled up, but here's one for 49, 46, 50, but I mean 58K for a TRD off-road. Guys, this is not okay. All right. So these trucks need to get a lot less expensive, whether they're dealer discounts or Toyota incentivizing them. But this truck, it's a good truck. It's not $50,000 good when you can get a brand new Pro 4X with a big, fat, naturally aspirated V6 for a fraction of the price. In fact, $33,000 for the top of the line Pro 4X. Remember, the average MSRP of a base SR single cab, or whatever you call that cab that has no seats in the back, is $38,000. And here you can get top of the line Pro 4X for $33K. That's the answer for you guys right now. Get the Nissan Frontier. I like it better than the new Tacoma anyways. No, it doesn't handle as good, but the old school feel that you have on this guys, this truck right here honestly feels like the forerunner of pickup trucks, or should I say the current forerunner, not the new one coming out. That's going to feel like the new Tacoma. This right here feels old school. It feels sturdy, great steering feel, silky 9-speed automatic, awesome V6, and you can get them at crazy discounted prices right now. The new Tacoma is just going to be compounding with issues with all this allocation and freight volume heading to dealers soon, which are already discounting the trucks. So I thought I would address some more of your comments to end this video because it's fun for me. When I pin my comment, I'm making a follow-up video. The BJ Jones said Toyota must have called. Toyota's actually, I think, only called me once for doing something that they didn't like. That was way back on the old, well, when the new Tundra was yet to come out, and I posted a video about powertrain numbers that I had gotten from a source, but those numbers were not accurate. And so Toyota told me to take it down. But that was about it. I mean, I have never been called from them since about making videos pro Toyota or con Toyota. This is definitely a con Toyota, but good news is that just go pick up a Nissan Frontier anyways. Next highest comment, I'm glad the consumers are not buying them. They are ridiculously overpriced. And then that's just kind of like the reoccurring theme here. Price too high compared to competitors with too many quality issues. Toyota is gouging its consumers by building cheap in Mexico with low quality but charging premium prices. Don't need Reuters to tell me why the sales suck. Zemo says Tacoma is not selling for the same reason Tundra is not selling, due to high price and poor quality. Rent is too damn high. Prices, interest rates, more competition. Not surprised. Toyota prices are out of control. People complaining about the border. That's always a fun topic. Built in Mexico. They must have forgotten to change the price tag. Oh, that's brutal. I'm not even going to say that one. Kirk trying to push the labor shortage BS when every Toyota dealer has dozens of Tacomas in their lots. They're just not selling. I'm not pushing labor shortage BS. It's true due to the numbers that I just also pulled up with cars that were supposed to be arriving over a month ago, and they haven't even entered production. Okay. Also, they are not selling in some cases, but dozens of Tacomas on their lots. Guys, that's not the case due to also the numbers I just showed and me just going to my lot and maybe seeing two new Tacomas there. I don't even know if they were available for sale. This person says they don't feel the turbo or location of assembly are the biggest problems of what I'm hearing. It's just a sky-high price. They need to drop trims by nearly $10K to tap into the main market for these. Well, that's true. $10,000 might seem like, Kirk, that's way too much. Do I need to pull up the Frontier again? You can get a brand new, fully loaded Frontier for $33K, at least where I live. And I'm sure where I live is not the exception. This guy says, don't believe supply is the problem. There are 135 new Tacomas available right now within 50 miles of my location on Auto Trader. That is definitely a possibility, depending on how densely populated your area, how many dealers you have, etc. The fake news and excuse for poor sales, I already kind of addressed that. Piling up on dealer lots. They have the potential to pile up on dealer lots due to the backlog of production they're still waiting to make. And like I mentioned, with the discounts that are already happening to the low volume that's on the ground that's available. So we could see these absolutely start piling up on dealer lots as the year goes on. And if that's the case, maybe I'll make a third video following up. This guy says the car market is terrible all over. Insurance and fuel prices make them more unaffordable at this point. Yeah, I mean, even energy prices are high if you're buying an EV too. Assuming you can charge at home, that's not that big of a deal. Anyways, I'm not going to go into EVs right now. We're talking about trucks. With all the money they're saving from cheap labor in Mexico, they need to pass that savings on to the consumer instead of the shareholders. This one was good. Cornelius87 says he has a friend in Monterey who works at one of these foreign-owned plants, and yeah, employee turnover is not the best. It's depressing to them working 12-hour shifts for the equivalent of $20 while knowing that a few miles north, the same effort would be valued 10 times more. It's hard to keep good employees. That's why everyone, well, not everyone, that's why a lot of the workers in Mexico that aren't making money, the United States is the land of opportunity for them to make a better life for their families. And this is causing a potential huge issue at the supplier plants in Mexico and also at the production sites. So it's crazy, guys. I'm done reading the comments here. Toyota is in trouble with their Tacoma. It's priced too high. They cannot produce enough of them to satiate the current demand, but demand has dropped off due to the amount of competition that they have with, I'd even mention the Colorado or the Ranger and the Frontier with rock bottom prices and an excellent truck overall. But anyways, I got it into there. I'll see you guys all again, battle it out down below or call me out. I don't care. It's fun to talk about. I'll see you guys in the next one. And man, this will be fun to see how it plays out as more of this allocation that's still yet to be built. There's like a growing backlog of trucks that need to be built due to the supply chain disruption. When those eventually hit the lots, what's going to happen to these discounted prices? It'll be fun to see. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.